Yo, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope district is going well. We got another hot show on here. I got my guy here from Tier 1. We're going to talk about this well-known hurdle calculator. So we're live on Instagram. We're live on X. We're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, of course. Guys, we're going to open up for questions as well. We're bringing Coach Wickard on here. We're going to talk about this hurdle calculator. Hey, y'all out there, y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all got these kids falling over these hurdles. We gonna get it right today. We gonna get this hurdle calculator in here. Hey, before we get started, I got to give my shout outs, guys. Hold on, let me pull it on. Let me pull it up. Give me a second here. First, we go shout out to TTFCA. Of course, they have the Meet of Champions is about to happen. If you hit the standards already, go ahead and go on there. Get registered. It's going to be a hot meet. Make sure you get that taken care of. The link is in the description. Go ahead and click on that so you can get registered as well. Also, shout out to my guys over there at TrackBarn. If you need any, and I mean any track and field equipment, holler at my guys over there. Also, guys, IcyBreeze is getting hot. Here's the fan. It's a portable misting fan. I also have the cooler too. The link is in the description. And I promise, guys, I will get a video out. Well, another video out this weekend while I'm at the track meet as well. So let's bring them in. What is going on, Coach?
Hello, good evening. And everyone is crushing it at districts. Only thing is, I wish there was a wind gauge. Oh,
No,
sorry.
I was gonna save that for the.
Sorry. But the good
I was
thing
gonna
is,
save it for the end of the show because
I know,
we'll
hey,
be on
gotta
there for an
start some
hour.
excitement. But the good thing is I think there's a rumor going on that Texas TrackDad is also going to turn into Indiana TrackDad.
I'm still gonna be Texas though. I still,
Just
but
make it,
I am Indiana biggest
make it the
fan right
college
now though.
team. College, Texas, hey, just
Hey, I am their biggest fan right now though.
I
I
know.
can tell you that.
Hey, go ahead and call up the booster, right? And get some money.
Indiana. Hey man, I haven't thought about that, but hey, I don't know.
Team would like it.
We gonna talk about that later. That win gauge.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
talk about that later because we'll be on be on that for a second.
Oh, well,
Uh,
yeah, a second for sure.
yeah. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach, for the people who don't know who you are.
Well, my name is Justin Wickard. Appreciate being on again. You always do a great job of lifting up the sport, lifting up the kids in the area. So greatly appreciate that. So keep doing the amazing work. But I was a 14-year veteran sprint hurdles coach at the Division I level. I had spent 4 years volunteering, spent time at Texas Tech, UNC. I was at a Division II school for 1 year, getting my master's from Chatham State. And then my first coaching paid job started at Louisiana Tech. And then from Louisiana Tech, I spent 5 years at TCU and then Air Force Academy. And then in 2020, I decided to become a dedicated family man and left college coaching. And now I've been doing Tier 1 Athlete, helping 12 to 18-year-olds for speed development and hurdle training here in the McKinney, Frisco, Plano, Allen area. And been loving every minute of it. And as you know, before we got on, I did a big old yes because one of the kids that I work with dropped a big old PR in the 300 hurdles. So I'll take it.
Yeah, hey, hopefully that's the last event right now because it's about to be 9 o'clock. So hopefully they getting out of there after there.
11. We're going 11. So got all that 4x4, those relays take a while.
Oh yeah, the good old 4x4. They got to find the athletes that's hiding from it. They get them in there.
Exactly.
um,
Come out from other stands. You got to run the leg.
oh, yep. Yeah, Coach, I brought you on. You created something, right?
I did.
You created something.
It was
What
out
is
of
it?
it was out of necessity for myself. And it's called the Hurdle Calculator Program. And while I was a college coach as I would analyze the hurdlers I was working with, I was like, what can I do to give them visuals, but also make it more clear cut to help myself to keep everything in place? Because as a hurdle coach, I would always use, right, it was either TFRS or I would have my own notebook, and I would literally write down every single meet that they ran in and what their hurdle splits were and their performance time. And to this day, one of the girls actually still has the board, and she showed me like 2 years ago, and she's like, "Coach, does this look familiar?" And it was a board, and I've had it posted, and it was literally every single kid can see their progressions and stuff. And that was still even with all the internet stuff, but I wanted to always give them a visual. Well, as I was going through and I would sit down and do hurdle analysis with the hurdlers, I was like, I got to give them a visual. I got to show them something, because the more visual, the more they can see, like, hey, this is where we want to go. This is where you're currently at. And this is what we need to do in practices from a hurdle spacing standpoint. Or, hey, this is what we need to do for the 400 hurdles to hit certain target times. And now it gives them the visual and stuff. And so as I started going through and got out, and this was started back in Air Force Academy, I started working on it. And then it just started unfolding from there. As I started using it, I was like, man, this is good. This is helping me out. And so then I just started reaching out to other coaches, Kaba Tolber at Harvard, Randy Huntington, as well, and a lot of other coaches, and just Chris Parno is another one. And I just started sort of asking questions like, hey, when you analyze your hurdlers, what do you do? Right? And how do you keep track of everything? And a lot of it was like, oh, I just do a notebook, or I do a Word document, or hey, I do Google Sheets or Excel. And so I was like, okay. And one of the big things in there that I got from a great coach when I was doing was known as zone hurdling for the 110s. And basically, zone hurdling, you can see in the lower left quadrant on the screen there, hurdles 1 through 4 is considered your acceleration zone.
Okay.
So each of those units should be getting faster. And then zone 2 is your max speed, your top end hurdling units where they should be the fastest. And then zone 3 is then your hurdle rhythm endurance. And so by doing that, you can break it down of going, okay, this kid needs to work the more their front half. They need to accelerate better through hurdles 1 through 4. Or, you know what, they're not maintaining, they're dropping off of zone 2. They're not really hitting their top end of their hurdling. And then the biggest thing in the high school level is majority of kids don't do enough hurdle rhythm endurance. And so therefore, hey, zone 3, you're really dying. We got to improve the hurdle, the last, 7 to 10 hurdles. But through all that, when you have those zones and I know what their performance was, and I get an average, now I put a calculation where it's going to start telling you what practice spacings they should be at to hit the hurdle units needed to manage their current PR, but also better their PR, but then also go towards reaching their hurdle goals and stuff. And so a lot of kids, especially at the high school level, right, a majority of them are practicing at spacings that are either at full distance, so 8.5 for the girls or 9.14 for the guys. And I've just started realizing, like, man, can be a great tool to, it's helped me a lot. It's helped the hurdlers that I've worked with tremendously to get visuals, but also keep everything in-house where I can see everything and track progression over the full year through 4 years and see how much they've improved in both the short hurdles and the long hurdles, but then also gives me a game plan of, as we're progressing in our practices and meets to see what areas they're improving in and what areas we still need to work on.
Yeah, let me so also we're gonna open this up for questions. IG people who are on Instagram. Hey, shout out to y'all. Everybody, if you got a question, go ahead and drop it in the comments here for Coach Wickard. Also, shout out to Coach James, Coach Alonzo, and Gyps Dad. Gyps Dad. Hey, shout out to you too. But y'all got any questions? Go ahead and pop it in the comment or whatever. But Coach, so your calculator. Just say I'm new. I don't know anything about hurdles, and I'm telling you the truth. I don't know anything about hurdles. So this calculator here, it will give you the proper distance to put. Did you say Wickards down to, or just the hurdles, or
hurdles? But there are wickets that I've actually put in the program that's more hurdler specific, based off of the stride patterns that's required in the short hurdles, but also the long hurdles. So a lot of people love wickets, but unfortunately, the stride demand for the short hurdles are fixed. It doesn't change. So I want hurdlers to be able to have that frequency that's required in the short hurdles. So I'm gonna always do wickets that's gonna force that. So I can do hurdle rhythmic work without hurdling, and I'm just doing over the wickets and stuff. And so I put that into that hurdle calculator program, and it's for 9 wickets or it's for 13 wickets. And you can literally put in the athlete's goal time. Let's just say 14.5 for both male and female. And it will tell you how fast they have to run from the start, from basically the first wicket to wicket 9. It'll tell you what that overall time needs to be to match the 14.5 goal. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from a legendary high school coach, Tony Wells. So it's nothing I've created out of the blue. It's literally was informed of this long time ago, and I was like, man, I really like this. And I saw, as I used it more throughout the training years and with kids, I saw amazing carryover as they got faster in that. I saw it carry over into their hurdles as well.
Okay. And so this thing is so this hurdle calculator would tell me, like a coach that doesn't know anything about hurdles, how fast this athlete needs to run to get a certain time, right? Is that right?
That is 100% correct. So it's pretty much foolproof. So let's say, you can see on the lower right of the quadrant that's the athlete dashboard, and up there on the top right is their PRs. I mean, not their PRs, but their goal times. So from the left, you have the 60 hurdles, then you have the 100 hurdles, 110s, 300 hurdles, and 400 hurdles. Well, in that segment, when I type in a goal time of 14.5, it's going to give me instantly what that hurdle spacing needs to be for hurdles 1 through 4, hurdles 5 through 7, and then hurdles 7 through 10. So now, as a coach,
let me stop you there, because I just want to make sure everybody getting this. So you'll put that information in, and it'll tell you the spacing on all the hurdles to get that 14.5 or whatever they're trying to run, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So now it's no longer guessing. Right? It's like, well, what spacing should I do? I'm not sure. Now it's like, okay, well, to run 14.5, we need to be at this spacing. Now, when you're at that spacing, the upper right quadrant that you see there is literally you type in the athlete's goal time, 14.5, And then it's broken down in those zones 1 through first zone, hurdles 1 through 4, and you put in whatever it's telling you that spacing needs to be. So let's say it's 8.25. You put in 8.25. It gives you now from start line all the way to hurdle 4 what the cumulative distance is for those hurdles. So it's no longer measuring out your foot length. It's literally you take a tape measure and you go, or a measuring wheel, and you literally just walk it out and be like, okay, hurdle goes at 1372 for the guys, for hurdle 1 for the girls is 13. And then the program's telling me the next hurdle is at 20 feet, and then so forth. And I literally just mark it and take a tape or take chalk, and I just literally draw a line. And I'm like, okay, that's where I need to set the hurdles up. So it makes it pretty much foolproof. And if you do it right, many coaches will color coordinate their tape measure for their wickets. Well, now you can do the same thing for the hurdles. And you can say, okay, well, the tape marks on the tape measure that's red, this is 14.5 spacing. You have your athletes lay it out, and now you tell them, like, put the hurdles at every red tape mark on that tape measure. So now you don't sit there as a coach and like, well, did they set it up right? Or I'm having to constantly set it up because they don't know. So it sort of speeds up the process too for setting up practices. And so once you're done with putting all those spacings in, then I put in the time of 14.5, and now it tells me exactly what hurdle units. So that's the time in between a touchdown of hurdle 1 to touchdown to hurdle 2 and so forth. It gives me what the cumulative time needs to be and the hurdle splits needs to be in that practice that's going to match 14.5.
Okay.
So now I can sit there and say, hey, Johnny or Susan, at the touchdown of hurdle 4, your overall time needs to be this. So now already in practice, I just literally just gave the athlete a goal.
Gotcha.
And that goal matches your goal time of 14.5. Sometimes they'll either be on, they might be off, it might be slower, it might be faster. But now it gives the athlete and the coach, I know what the target time needs to be in practice that's going to match what I need to do in a meet.
So you use this you use your hurdle calculator at practice. Then they go to the meet just like your athlete had today. Did he use this? Is his numbers work in line with the calculator?
Yes. So people on social media has sort of seen this. Is like when Grant Holloway ran his world record time, or Chris Parnow's Cartwright girl ran her season opener of 1281. I will do a quick hurdle analysis using Dartfish or Canovia to give me their splits. And then I instantly go then and compare it to what the hurdle calculator splits are for those times. And for indoor 60 hurdles, it's spot on, honestly. And that's because I've talked to so many coaches and spoke with so many coaches and was able to come up with the formula that's going to be very, very close and very accurate. So all the hurdle calculator touchdown charts that you see online or like on paper, I just transferred it over now to an actual working physical calculator that just shows it to you.
Okay. So what type of software do you need to have? Do I need to have a regular computer, a MacBook, or do you email a software, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's not fancy. I mean, trust me, I wanted it web-based. I wanted it on a mobile app. But as I started looking towards things, just to give you an example, to create it and put it on a web base. So anyone that's a web-based program that wants to help me try to put this thing on the web, contact me, or a mobile app. But when I was looking at the cost just to do a mobile app of what I have already was going to cost me anywhere between $30,000 to $40,000. I don't have that kind of money. Web-based was looking up to around $75,000 just to put this, turned it into a software web-based program for coaches to utilize. And so when I was going through that, I realized like, well, the most affordable, feasible thing then is while I'm building this is to build it in Microsoft Excel and utilize Microsoft Excel, VBA, and macros formulas to
Have you thought about making a app? I know that might be a little bit cheaper.
I have, but it's still
Still up there.
minimum of 30,000 minimum.
Okay.
And that's just the basic stuff. And I'm like, okay. So it is an Excel based. So you can run it on a newer version of Windows. You also got to have Microsoft Excel within that Windows program. And then the Mac, same thing. You got to have at least the Windows Excel program installed on the Mac. So you can use it on a Mac and a Windows. Nice. And then literally people go to the website, they click on it, they can purchase it through the website. It sends them the file for either whatever they choose, if it's either Mac or Windows. They get the file, and then if it's Windows based, they download it onto their computer and then ask for them to send me a system ID code. And then I send them what's known as an activation code. And then it gives them access then to run and open the program on their computer. And they can utilize it on their computer anytime they want to. And then same thing for a Mac. They just download it and they're off running and they can start using it.
Nice. So what we're going to do now is are we going to pull up your website? I'm gonna let you go through that. Tell everybody about the website. Also, I'll put the link in the comments. Y'all should see it. If not, I can put it on the screen as well. But y'all just give me a second while I pull up his website, and we'll let Coach navigate through there and tell you some more stuff about the hurdle calculator.
So the interesting part with the hurdle calculator is literally this year I've been following it to a T. Like every single time one of my hurdlers runs a race, like today, I've already done a quick hurdle analysis with Dartfish on my mobile phone. And then once I have their splits, I instantly go into the program and I type and I put in that data for their start and then every single split. Once I press enter, now I'm starting to run a rolling average, and the athlete dashboard then updates what their average is. And I think this is the thing where many people are shocked is for a high school male hurdler, majority of male hurdlers should be practicing at hurdle distances less than basically at women's spacing. They should be practicing around 850 or closer. And the faster the hurdler, the further out the spacings get. But the slower the hurdler, the closer the spacings. And people that have utilized the calculator, the number one thing is like, are you sure? That seems really close. And I'm like, trust me, like it is on point, and they do it. And the kid's like, oh my gosh, this is really close. But it's forcing them to hit the hurdle splits that's needed to run fast. And that's the biggest thing, as the feedback that coaches have given me is when they followed it, they're like, oh my gosh, like my athlete literally just did this and exceeded their time for their goal time. And we've been following the spacings to a T. And anytime they get faster, they just slowly increase the spacing. And then when they hit those hurdle units, it just matches. It works great and stuff. And then same thing for the 400 hurdles, 300 hurdles. and everything. So, I mean, I've been shocked with the feedback. I mean, especially the college coaches that I personally know that have purchased it
Uh-huh.
and the feedback they've given me, it's blown me away. I mean,
What
because
kind
I've
of
I've
what kind of
literally created this just for myself. Now it's
yeah.
people
So
like, hey,
what kind of feedback are you getting from those coaches? What are they telling you about the hurdle calculator?
majority of them been like, man, this is life changing for me because it's keeping everything in house, but it's also giving them now a visual to use with their athletes to show like, hey, this is why we're training at these spaces. And this is why we're going to continue to do that because we need to hit these kind of speeds in the hurdling. And then once the athlete runs that PR, they're just shocked. They're like, wow. Or hey, they ran it and then they put in that hurdle data into the hurdle calculator and they compare it to what their hurdle splits are saying they need to be for that goal time. And they're like, Wick, those times are basically identical. Like they are matching. I've had people send me literally videos of doing splits of that athlete's race and showing me, hey, look, this is what the hurdle splits are giving me in the hurdle calculator program, and they're right on. And so it's just from that feedback, it's just been amazing. I mean, I've had a couple even pro hurdle coaches reach out and stuff and just like, man, like this is great. And that's where they've been encouraging me, like, hey, can you put it on a web base or can you put it mobile? Like, and I'm like, I would love to, but it just costs too much.
And what do you think about this comment here? We getting off of LinkedIn. Teaching spacing is critical to progression.
That person is spot on. 100%. And that's the thing with the hurdle calculator program. It's giving you it's taking the guesswork out for coaches. It's literally telling you what spacings to train your hurdlers at. And until they can start hitting the 1.0s, 110s, 115s that match the hurdle goal times and that the hurdle splits that the hurdle calculator is telling you, you keep them at that spacing. They don't progress from those spacings until they start running faster. And then once they start running faster, where coaches make a mistake is they want to quickly extend their hurdle spacings out even more. And the extending the hurdle spacings is very, very small and very incremental. So it's literally less than 0.110 meters that you extend them out, and you just slowly keep progressing. So I'll give you a great example. One kid that I'm working with from Frisco Liberty as a freshman, he ran 1681 in the 110 hurdles. So not fast. But as I started implementing what the hurdle calculator is saying and what spacings is showing him like, hey, this is where we need to train out, and this is why. As he started getting better, I could see the hurdle rhythm coming. And I'm like, buddy, like, I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but your breakthrough's coming. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it every day in our training. And literally yesterday, he at districts, he PR'd again and he ran 1550. So he went from 1681, his end of his freshman year in high school, to his sophomore year, it's going on to area, and he ran 1550. And it's all been because of the hurdle spacings. And the crazy part is with him, the max that his hurdle spacings have been with me is 780 for meters. So that's way closer than the girl's normal hurdle distance, which is 850. But the reason that is that spacing is critical because it's forcing him to sprint in between, but also forcing him to hit the hurdle splits that he's needing to run faster. And it started showing up. Like I started seeing him running hurdle splits of 1.0 to even had one that was 0.99. I was like, buddy, you're about to run fast. And for him, for 1550, that is fast.
Uh-huh.
And he'll just keep progressing. I've done the same thing with all the other hurdlers I've been working with and everything. So it's just it's done really, really amazing things for a lot of people that have been utilizing it.
Yeah, that's that is good. That's some good info, coach. That's some good info. We also got another question here. How do you prepare a high school 300 hurler for the college 400?
It's a lot.
Is it a different race, coach?
It 100% a different race. 100% different race. Now there's some similarities, but there's still the race distribution is going to be different compared to the race distribution of 300 hurdles. 300 hurdles is a full-on sprint. Okay, if you do the same thing in the 300 hurdles and you try to do the exact same thing in the 400 hurdles, your race distribution is going to be off, and it's not going to be as effective. So it is completely different. So to me, as a person working with high school hurdlers, I'm going to prepare them to run fast in the 300 hurdles. But as I'm preparing them to run fast in the 300 hurdles, I'm also going to work on continuing to get them their overall foot speed better. Because the faster they can get in the overall open 200, the better they're going to get in the 300 hurdles. But then as I'm doing that, I got to work a little bit of special endurance to have them run good 4x4s. So a great indicator is their 4x4 split. That's why a lot of college coaches go, hey, I see your 300 hurdle time. That's good, but it doesn't necessarily give me a true indicator of what you're going to run the 400 hurdles. So they will ask, what's your 4x4 split? Or have you ran an open 400? And they're gonna see that. So that's the number one thing to me. And then the second thing is working their stride pattern and their rhythm in between the hurdles and their cadence in between the first 2 hurdles, the first 4 hurdles to set up the race, and then working then their stride and their hurdle rhythm when they're in a fatigue state too. So that would be number 2 for me.
So how do you determine? So you got a group of hurdlers that first day of practice. Well, let's say first couple of weeks of practice. How do you determine who's going to run 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, 400 meter? How do you determine that? Because hurlers, they are sprinters. So how do you determine who's going to run what?
Well, first I'm picking out the ones that are not afraid. They're willing to get after it, and they're willing to run through a wall. They sort of have the mindset of, I live on the edge, because great hurdlers have that kind of mindset. So they got to be not fearful at all, right? They can't be hesitant. So if I see that kind of demeanor, I'm going to sort of try to take that athlete and gravitate towards them. That's why, honestly, for the men's side, that's why usually football athletes usually make good hurdlers, because football players, usually the good football players, they're not afraid at all. They're like, man, I'll go. I'm not afraid to compete. I'm not afraid to hit or get hit. They're aggressive. They'll attack. They're not afraid to fall or to hit a hurdle. They're just going to go. And so on the girls' side, it's a little bit more challenging. Usually girls are a little bit more hesitant, a little bit more, so I'm going to look for those kind of demeanors big time. And then the second thing is, like you said, hurdlers are sprinters. So I'm not going to take the slowest athlete and throw them in the hurdles. I'm going to take the fastest athlete and throw them in the hurdles if they have that kind of mindset, or I might take a 400-meter kid or an 800-meter kid that's not fearful, has that mindset. I'm like, hey, we're going to drop down and we're going to do some 300 hurdles. And we've seen that, right? At the high school level, we've seen great 800-meter girls drop down and run pretty fast 300 hurdle times, and so I'm just going to look at everything. But, if it's a female sprinter and she's fast, I'm going to at least try and turn her into a hurdler. But she's still going to sprint. She's still going to do relays. She's still going to do her open events as well. She's not going to just straightly hurdle. And that's going to take time to develop. And unfortunately, that is the challenging part, because a lot of clubs and high school coaches, they got so many kids. They mean well and they want to do well, but they just can't give that kind of attention to develop a person that's never hurdled at all. Right? And so I think that's it just really depends. There's just so many factors to it.
Okay. So we got another like a statement here. See what you think about that. The stride pattern rhythm help athletes build their race model. Modeling the race is done in practice and taught by coaches. What's your take on that, Coach?
100%. Darian, you are correct, and I'll take it a little bit further. Right, the pattern and the rhythm is key. Right, and that's where the hurdle calculator actually helps the coaches too. So in the 300 400 hurdles, if you do a fly 30 in the hurdle calculator program for the long hurdles, you put in the number of strides that they did for their fly 30 segment. So let's say it's 14 strides or 15 strides. And let's say their fly 30 time was 3 flat. You put that in there. It's going to automatically give you what their stride length is and their stride frequency. Now that I know what their stride length is, I know what the hurdle calculator is going to tell you. So a 2.15 stride length is equivalent to a 15 stride pattern for the long hurdles. So now I know, okay, well, hey, I might be able to work on a 15 stride pattern for this hurdler in a non-fatigue state. So we might go hurdles, hurdle 1, we're going 22 strides to the first hurdle, 24 strides to the first hurdle, because even numbers to the first hurdle is going to give them their dominant leg. And if it's an odd number, then it's going to be their off leg. And so that means your blocks are going to be switched then too. So we'll work that stride pattern to hurdle 1, but now we know hurdle 2, when you're in a non-fatigue, hey, you can probably go 15. So now I can set up a stride pattern with cones or tape mark or whatever for 15 strides. I can even do wickets for 15 strides, right? And if they show that they can handle that, now I can set up that race pattern through, hey, we're going 15 through 4 hurdles. And now hurdles 4 through 5, we're going to cut down. You're going to alternate. You're going to go 16 now through 4 to 5. And then the rest, you're going to go 17. Because if they can't alternate, then they can't do an even number of strides, because it's going to force them to alternate. So that helps them in that. But to take it further, that race modeling, though, is not just specifically their stride pattern. Now I got to ingrain in them what that rhythm feels like time-wise. Okay? So give you an example. If I want to run 40.8, on the female side, which is really, really fast, that first 100-meter segment of that hurdle race, her hurdle 100-meter segment time needs to be 14:1. or better. So a lot of times the kids will get out way too fast. And then you see that as they get to hurdle 4, they start going slower. So there's got to be that race distribution of, hey, we getting after it, but we now got to do it in a rhythmic, controlled state.
And that's and I know that's hard because you want them to go fast, right?
Yes,
But you want them to
100%.
go fast at the right time.
Correct. And you want you want them to be able to know how to properly manage their speed in a rhythmic fashion.
Gotcha.
Because if they just blast it like they're running 100, well, we know that they're not going to be able to maintain that all the way through the race. So I gotta properly distribute it. So if I want to run 40.86, the hurdle calculator is going to tell me, hey, here's where their hurdle time needs to be at hurdle 1. Here's where their hurdle time needs to be at hurdle 2, hurdle 3. Here's what their 100-meter time needs to be. So for the 300 hurdles, from the start line of the 300 hurdle to the start of the 200-meter line, that's the first 100 meters of the 300 hurdle race. So if I'm managing that, I can now start doing basically an old school Clyde Hart of the beeper for the 300 hurdles. So I'm like, hey, I can blow the whistle. When the whistle blows, you need to be right at the 100-meter mark. And you need to be at this time. You need to be on it. And then from the start of the 200 to the start of the 100-meter dash is the second 100-meter segment. And the hurdle calculator shows, just like a 400 race, right? You asked about where's the similarity between the 300 and 400. Well, we know that the second 100-meter segment in the 400 is faster than the first segment. Well, the hurdle calculator program is telling the coach the same thing. Here's where their second 100-meter segment needs to be. So now we work on that rhythm for the first 100. They get it. They're showing that they got that pattern. They're being very rhythmic in it. They show it's like clockwork. They got that feeling down. Now I can sit there and say, okay, when you get to that 100-meter line, now from hurdles, in between hurdles 2 and 3, all the way through off of hurdle 5, I need you to really be aggressive and attack the curve. And the time needs to be for 40.8. You need to be 12.66. So we're going from 14.1 to 12.66. Stay on the beeper, hit the beeper. So now it's teaching them, and you see this in 300 hurdlers, they'll get out really hard, and then you see them, they're not being able to be aggressive in attacking the curve. It sort of looks flat. And then as they come off and come into hurdle 5 through 6, you can see the wheels are starting to fall off. And so that's where it goes even further. It's not just the step patterns either. You got to build that internal clock and that rhythm from also the hurdle times and knowing how to properly distribute that. And so we work that and break it down into zones, hurdles 1 through 4 to, hey, we're going to work the first 200. So if you want to run 40, 86, 40, 80, hurdle calculator tells you what their 200 meter split needs to be.
Yes. Man, so just like I say, for a coach, because I know a lot of coaches, especially middle school coaches, they might not have a lot of track and field experience, right? Say they there and they get put over the hurdles, so they have to teach these kids how to hurdle. So can they get this calculator here and get familiar with the functions of the calculator pretty quick? How easy? Yeah, how easy is it to get?
It's really easy because here's why. It's because in the front of the hurdle calculator program, I literally have video demonstrations of how to use the program. So they click on it, and then it literally takes them to an instructional YouTube video that explains this is how you enter your data. This is what the data means. This is how to utilize your data. This is like I talked about the 110s. I talk about what does the spacing means? How do I use the short hurdle practice parameter workouts? How do I utilize that? When to utilize it? To then same thing with I just talked about the 300 hurdles of spacings and figuring out their stride length. So there's literally about 7 to 8 videos of instructional videos of breaking down each segment of the hurdle calculator program. And it literally, like, I literally have had quite a few middle school coaches that have purchased it. And I follow up like, hey, you have any questions? Like, no, like your instructional programs, I have answered all my questions. It's great. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. Thanks. Like, I'm here to help any way I can. But they're like, no, like you've easily explained it, and it makes sense and stuff. And so, and even I currently have one guy that I've been talking to that same thing. He's a newbie. He's never coached hurdles in his life, doesn't know anything about hurdles. And he's like, oh, this has been great. Like, it's given me the resources and answering questions that I've always had. And it's given it to me right there. And the guy is 58 years old. And he's not really, and he says all the time to me, hey, I'm not really tech savvy. Well, he's able to do it and utilize it. So I mean, anyone can. I mean, the like you said, the high school coaches can utilize it. And then I literally have pro coaches that have purchased it using it. I've had high Division I hurdle coaches purchase it and use it. And literally that's the thing about the program is you can use it for just the simple stuff and keep it really, really basic, or you can go into like the University of Cal Berkeley sprints and hurdles coach. He's like, man, you just took me to a next geek out level. Like, I already geeked out on the hurdles. Now this thing is making me geek out even more because it's giving him other things that he was like, I knew about, but I never really thought about tracking it. Now he's tracking it. He's like, oh yeah, this is, I'm like, hey, Coach Ronnie, give me more. And he's like, dude, this is, you make me stay up late at night with this thing. I'm like, okay, well, at least give me, how can I improve it? What can I make it better? And he's like, dude, it's, you've crushed it. It's great. He's like, anything, and maybe tweak, add this or do this. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Man, that's good. That's good. So we got another question here. For the girls, do you find shorter athletes or taller athletes to be better at 100-meter hurdles?
It's the yin and the yang. And then what they mean by the yin and the yang is it can be both. Both sides can be good. Both sides can also struggle. Right? And the reason I say is because, again, it goes down to the mental fortitude that we talked about. Comes down to also what's their power levels, what's their ability to be sprinters, and are they efficient sprinters? Because efficient sprinters means efficient hurdlers from a hurdle mechanic standpoint as well. But then also, too, the advantage of a shorter hurdler, their stride length is not going to be as long compared to a tall hurdler. So they're going to have a little bit better opportunity to be able to turn it over quicker and have a higher turnover rate than a tall hurdler. A tall hurdler can be really, really fast, but they also then might struggle with their central nervous system to be able to turn it over really, really quick. So I always tell girls this, and even some coaches this, I'm like, for girls, when I use this cue, they usually go, oh, this makes sense. How fast can you turn over and run while you're wearing a skirt? And they go, oh, yeah, you can't really pick up. You don't want to really open up and sprint when you're wearing a dress or a skirt. And so how quick can you make that and run fast while you're wearing a dress or a skirt? And that's basically what you're doing in between the hurdles. And so a tall hurdler might be able to do that really, really well too. but they also might struggle with it. Short hurdler, they might struggle in the sense of they need to push it a little bit better. They need to be a little bit more patient and work the ground, because if their stride length, let's just say when they regularly sprint, and that's where for the middle school girls, this is why 8.5 spacings don't work from a development standpoint. You can't hurdle at 8.5 in meets. And FYI to all the Texas people, it's not a ULL rule and mandated that you have to hurdle at 8.5 or even 9.1 for guys for middle school.
Wait, hold on. You talking about the hurdle height or
hurdle
what are you
spacing?
talking about? Oh, spacing. Okay.
Hurdle
Got you,
spacing.
got you.
So anyone that wants to, go against that, look up Mike Reed at Gordon High School. Small, they just won 6A for football. He's been doing this for years. When they have their middle school meets, the guys, 7th and 8th grade guys, run at the girls' distance. They run at 8.5 meters. The girls, 7th and 8th grade girls, run at 8 meters. So UL rules, it's not demanded that you have to hurdle at meets at those spacings for middle school. It's a suggestion.
So I was talking to a coach at the TTFCA Winter Clinic. Make sure y'all get there next year if you wasn't there. He was talking about the height of the hurdles for 8th graders. Is it the same as high schoolers, or did I just hear him wrong on that?
For the guys, it's 36. For the girls, it's 30.
Okay, so is that the same as? So
No,
what does high school jump?
High school male hurdlers is at 39 inches. Girls are at 33.
Okay, and like I said, it could be me. I'll go back and listen to him again, and I'll be asking you about it just to follow up. But he went into some good information on what was going on with some hurdle stuff in middle school.
Yeah, and I think who you're talking about, that's Mike Reed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I've known him for a long, long time. We've had tons of conversations about this all the time. Like, hey, I'll go with you to the URL, to the committee, and I'll present the facts. Like, look, and if you look at England, you look at Europe, you look at Jamaica. For even in Europe, if you're under 18 years old, the guys don't hurdle at 9.14 spacings. The girls, it's the same. So in the US, we have the talent pool. So we don't develop. The talent's going to raise to the top. But in other countries, they're literally developing these hurdlers.
Okay.
Because they don't have that kind of talent and stuff. So, yeah.
So, I got 2 questions here. First one is going to be the follow up. Do you advise 3 steps between hurdlers or shorter sprinters? Then also, Mr. Speed, I'm bringing that question back up in a second. In this, 33 for 7th grade boys, 36 for 8th grade. That sound about right?
That's right.
All right. So here, what do you advise? 3 step between hurdlers for shorter sprinters, or it just depends? Does it depend on the athlete or what they're doing, or
no? You force them to 3 step.
Okay.
If you want to be a hurdler, you need a 3 step.
Okay.
And so you're forcing the 3 step in practices. Again, that's why it's important to have the hurdle spacings properly, because you want to force the 3 step. Okay. Then the other thing is the reason you also lower the hurdle. So a lot of middle school hurdlers that I work with, they will hurdle at 24 to 27 inches in practice. And sometimes we'll go down to 21 inches. It's because I want them to look like sprinters while they're hurdling. If they don't look like sprinters while they're hurdling, I need to lower the hurdle height and then bring in the hurdles spacings. If they don't look like that, then I got to readjust. If they're looking like gazelles and Bambis and bounding and all over the place and they don't look like sprinters, I got the hurdles too far apart and maybe the hurdle height too high. And that also now then helps them to improve their confidence and then start loving hurdles and also take away a little bit of the fear factor. So with the sophomore male hurdler that I was working with, for the first half of just this season, I had him hurdling at 33 to 36 inches. A lot of times more at 33 inches because I wanted him to sprint and look like a sprinter as he was hurdling. So I'm going to force 3-step and then continue to work their speed. And this is where it's hard, but I'm not going to allow them to compete until they can show that they can do a 3-step at least in a meet. I'm going to keep developing them and keep working them. They might do the 300 hurdles, but we're not going to do the short hurdles until you can show that your power level and your speed levels and your ability to 3-step is there. Now, coaches will say, well, but I got to let them hurdle. Okay, that's fine. We do not allow hurdlers to 5-step. We force them to 4-step in the meet then.
So how long does it take for you to break a hurdler from the famous stutter step before they jump?
It depends on the kid. It can take a while. The transition can happen pretty fast, but it's still going to come down to, are they not afraid? Are they willing to be committed and keep practicing and willing to be uncomfortable at times? Will they listen? And will they trust the process? Because it is going to take some time. I mean, I always tell parents and hurdlers this, that Rome wasn't built in a day. And being a great hurdler takes a long time. It takes more than a year of proper training and working on things. It takes a while and stuff. And so it goes back to how well they're progressing with their speed and power levels as well. If they're improving that, then that's going to also help them as well and stuff. So, but a lot of times if you're working all those things, you're doing things right and they still not doing it and it's more up here, then that's where I'm just different. I'm like, you need to go try another event. You're not a hurdler. Just like everyone's not a sprinter. You need to go the 4 or you need to go the 8. You're not fast. You're not a sprinter.
So I'm gonna ask you this. I'm pretty sure you have you've done it before. Have you had an athlete on 100-meter hurdles or 110 hurdles and made the switch to 300 or 400 and they were a lot better, right? Have you had that with some of your athletes?
I have, and I'll be honest with you, where I'm currently at in the spacing of helping hurdlers, I will help work with the 300 hurdles, but I'm doing more of the short hurdles. And here's the reason why. It's because the majority of coaches are going to do the longer stuff. So with how I would go about preparing the 300 hurdles, I'm running a risk of overtraining them. And the kind of training of how I prepare a 300 hurdler is not going to match what they're getting. So I usually just let the clubs or high school coaches do that. And I'll focus more on the 110s, 100 hurdles.
So the clubs and the schools, what advice can you give to coaches who are out there listening right now and watching this on working with the high school coaches to get your hurdler where they need to be, because I know sometimes you fear, hey, this coach might not know what he's doing. My athlete's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So what advice can you give some of the coaches out there that's watching this right now?
I think one, that is a touchy subject, right? I mean, high school coaches got their opinions. Many of them have gotten burnt, by clubs and vice versa. So both sides have their right of why they do things, or their reasonings of not collaborating. But overall, honestly, the ones that end up being good is because both the club or the private coach and the high school coach have lowered their egos and have truly said, we're here to serve the kid and we're going to work together.
Yeah.
And for me, it is the high school coach. When it's the high school season, they're the driver. I'm just a secondary, right? I'm never going to tell them what to do, what not to do. If they have questions, I'm here to help give guidance. Never going to say, oh, that's just terrible, don't do that. So to me, the ones that ended up being really, really good, you've usually seen some kind of collaboration between the two parties. And that's how we also learn and grow as coaches, though, too. I mean, we got to be careful. I have my biases. I have my little ends that sort of, make me veer off in a way that could be negative. But if I'm open to learn and collaborate with others, I grow and I become sharpened as a coach.
Yeah.
And I've literally have learned a lot from Mike Reed, and he's a small 6A coach. I've learned from club coaches. I've learned from high school coaches. I've learned from college, all levels. And that's what makes great coaches, is the ones that are willing to continue to learn. Like Vince Anderson is a great model of that. I mean, he'll sit there and you'll be presenting and he's sitting there in the front row taking notes. And he's one of the best ever to do it, but he's still learning. All the great coaches are always talking to one another, learning, being vulnerable and saying, hey, give me feedback, how I'm programming, what I'm seeing. Am I off or not off? And I've been humbled in the sense of that, of having coaches say, hey, can you analyze? What do you look? Right. And they're giving me stuff. I've learned just from that in itself too. And so to me is know your strengths and your weaknesses. If you know that you're not real efficient in the hurdles, it's okay to say it, because we all started somewhere where we're not the best, and we're never going to be the best. We're always going to learn. Even if you had an Olympian, you ask an Olympic coaches like, man, I screwed this up, I need to learn. I'm constantly calling so-and-so to ask questions. And so notice your strengths and your weakness. And if you notice your weaknesses are in some hurdles or even technical, create that group of coaches that you can say, hey, I know this person's a better hurdle coach than I have, or more experience. I need to build a relationship with them to grow and to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, I agree with you. It just it definitely depends on the coaches, the trainers, and like I say, and, everybody need to work together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's for the betterment of the athlete. Like
Exactly.
you say, you put those egos away. The ultimate goal is to get that athlete into a college,
Hmm.
right? And not have to go into debt, taking out student loans or anything like that. So that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. And then, I
Is
mean, and I'll even throw a little caveat. Yeah, that's an ultimate goal, but only 3% of are going to get that goal. So the bigger goal is, how well can I impact the life of the kid and instill values and get them to go, man, I helped them through good times and bad times of their life. They were comfortable to come and talk to me, to confide in me, to ask for help in life situations. To me, that's why we got into coaching. the more we start getting to like, hey, it's about the X's and O's, it's about winning, it's about this, we're in trouble. Because I always tell people your window of career is only this small. Everything else is life. So how well can we prepare that guy and that girl become good workers, good citizens, and good husbands and good wives and good parents?
Yep. Yep.
Because if we can't do that and help them to say, this is what it looks like to overcome objectives. This is what it looks like to collaborate. This is what it looks like to communicate. If we don't do that as coaches, then we lose. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. You're right. You're right. We got to work together. We got to work together, and you learn more than just running. We got to teach them more than just running. We teach them how to be a good human being. And be successful in life. You see what I'm saying? So you need to be teaching that too.
Exactly.
You see what Coach London I'm laughing at what he said. You can see the comments, right? Can you see
Yeah,
this?
I see it. I see it. Hey,
that's my guy there, man.
I've had collaborated. I've been in
Yeah.
collaboration this year with some high school coaches, and when it happens, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. It is.
I bet.
Hey, we know our lanes. They're not going to cross in or vice versa, but there's still, here's a text here or here's this, and so when that happens, both kids are winning. But then also when there's a trust on both of those coaches' standpoint, if someone gives a recommendation, if it's me or them, we go, okay, yeah, that cool, sounds good, right? It's like we know where we're going because we're talking. It's not just okay.
Yeah, Coach, can you share your contact information? We got a coach here that has some
Yeah, so
athletes that need your
I,
services.
I appreciate it, Coach. So you've always been a supporter, and I appreciate you always looking out. I'm always going to have people's backs, and even if they don't come to me or not, I'm always going to steer people in the right direction of what should be done and what's best for the family. So they can go to Tier1Athlete.com. So that's my website. So www.Tier1Athlete.com. They can go there, and then you just click a button that says register now, and it'll take you to what's known as a league apps website, where all my registration, that's where my information's at, of when do we train, to location, to time, and when we will start doing stuff for summer and things like that. So, I mean, I train year round. People ask me all the time, well, this is my full-time job. This is what I do. This is my job. I coach. I don't work at IBM or whatever and then coach on the side. Like, this is what I do. So we literally train from September all the way until the first week of August. So I'm here to help anything I can.
Cool. Yeah. So right now we got 137 people in here, not counting everybody else who's on IG and those other platforms. Um, any coaches out there, if y'all have athletes, you want to get some hurdle training, you want to go ahead and contact my guy here, Coach Wickard. And also, if you're interested in the hurdle calculator, I have been dropping their website in the comments as well. It's in there. Cause you still want to run through your hurdle calculator page, or
Yeah, we can.
it's
I
up to
mean,
you.
if people
Real
have any,
quick.
if any people have any questions, they can also DM me
Okay.
at Twitter as well at Tier1Athlete, or if it's Instagram, Tier1Athlete _, and they can send me. Now I can say this right now, okay? It is right. The cost is $450, okay? But I'm going to be very transparent. Since I've built the program, Okay. I have put in my own money and I've calculated the cost. I've put in my own money and the cost has been over $7,000 just to build it and stuff. So, but then the same time is when people have gotten the program, I can tell you that I always ask them, hey, tell me the cost, right? Because I do know that high school coaches don't get a big budget, right? So you can either use it as a write-off as an educational thing. Okay. You can try to get your boosters to pay for it. Okay. Or you just use your own money and it's a one-time purchase of 450 and it's yours. And you get free updates. So and I'm working on some other features and updates. There's some things that I want to try to do even more to it. So anytime I'm going to update it, you get free updates. And the program's yours for life. So if you lose your computer or you get a new computer and you need to transfer that program onto a new computer, they can contact me and we'll transfer it over and they can keep using it. So it's theirs for life. And that's why I always encourage coaches to download it on your personal computer because then it's yours. But I'm also been telling coaches that if you buy it from the school and you put it on your school computer, okay, then let me know. I have no problem of allowing you to have a second download to put it on your personal computer. So now you got two of them and stuff. So, and then the majority of times when coaches have gotten the results, and the majority like, man, it's well worth the investment. It pays for itself like instantly.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this right here. You don't want anything cheap, right? You want to invest in your athletes. You want to invest in your program, right? And talk to your administrators or whoever you need to talk to, and see if they can help y'all get it. But this is definitely something that is needed out there or whatever. It's been used. It's being proven. You know, Coach Wickard, he's available. If you end up buying it, he's available for support. Or if you having some complications, if you can't figure something out, but talking to him is easy peasy, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So make an investment uh, in your athletes, in your program, guys.
Yeah. And
Also,
I
go
will
ahead.
say I haven't updated it. If you go like when you're on the website, when you first showed it, something did pop up. It was a pop-up and it said, hey, are you sure you want to exit? And you can do a monthly 3 installments of $150. Right. And so I haven't changed that yet. So technically, if you do the monthly payments of 3 installments, you're actually getting a $150 discount from paying it just up front. So, I mean, that's something to also to know, is you'll pay the 150 upfront and then the next 2 payments get taken out, however you use, and you can pay through a secured website that can take your debit card or credit card, or you can pay through PayPal as well. So, and even doing the 3 payments, you can be done through PayPal as well. So, uh, and I right here, I mean, that's a good one right there. Thanks, coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and it's there. I mean, usually when people get it, they can email me. Some have sent me a text messages, right, of questions. And that's the thing, like usually my wife's like, hey, just wait. And I'm like, no, I want to respond because they need help. So I'm here to help. I mean, usually during the days, I'm not working yet. So I'm usually at a coffee shop, either preparing to do the upgrade on this or working on doing a hurdle analysis for people or working on planning or programming or getting ready for my next 12-week sessions. So I'm pretty accessible and stuff if you got questions or you got issues And trust me, I will, if there's any issues, majors, we'll figure it out and we'll correct it and get it done so you can be on to keep utilizing it.
Indeed, and like I say, Coach, you keep up the good work on that. You know, it's word is still getting out there. You know, sometimes it take a little time for
Oh yeah.
everything to get around, but hey, I can see like with all these comments and people in the room, they're coming in, they're staying in the room. They're not coming in leaving. They're coming in staying because they want to know about this calculator and they want to know about what you have going on with your training and everything.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I always tell with people that have used it, right? The more you give me feedback, the better I can improve it. So truly, the biggest thing about a lot of the technology, I mean, it's an Excel base, right? Do I want it to get it to a web base? 100%. Do I want to have it mobile friendly? 100%. And that's where I've told many users like, hey, if you have connections or you can pair this to help me to make that happen, please, like, let me know, right? To, hey, if you know someone that's in the school sector that's doing computer science that can do some of this stuff, I'll give them credit. I'm like, hey, you can use it in your portfolio, you can do whatever you want. And that's why I encourage coaches. I'm always looking for feedback to those that are using it, because I truly want this hurdle calculator program to truly be coach led. And that's where when I started, I was constantly reaching out to coaches, like, give me feedback. How do you use it? What do you do? Because I want it to be simple. I want it to, but I also want it to be, if someone wants to geek out on it and go really in depth, they can. And so the more I get feedback from the users, the better I can do it. I mean, just recently I found something like, oh, I can tweak this to make this even better. Thanks.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. So we got a request. We got some people that want you to run through your website real quick. Do you mind?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, let me give me a second. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay. So as those that are in tune, if the website pulls up, and if you guys are, you can go to the website itself and on your mobile phone or wherever you're watching this from and look at it. And if you guys have questions, you can either ask it here live, because if you have the question, someone else probably has the exact same question, or you can DM me, right? And so there's been a lot of times where just in the website itself, you're going to see literally I'm giving 11-minute video of in-depth of what the program looks like. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, that video is not updated. That's version 1 of the hurdle calculator program. And there's your 3 installments of, if you don't want to pay the $450 up front, you can do the 3 monthly installments for $150. So you can take action and get $150 off. Because I haven't changed it yet.
There you go. If y'all, hey, this is if you want to jump on it real
Trust me,
quick,
I'm going to be
let's
changing.
go ahead and do it.
Because I actually have forgotten. This is helping me like, oh yeah, I need to change that.
Hey, it's yeah. I want to make sure y'all jump on that. If y'all interested, that is a good deal there. Definitely before you change it for sure. All right, here we go, Coach. You just tell me when to scroll down. Like I say, my
Yep.
system
So
is going to slow
yep.
me down just a bit.
Go ahead and scroll down. Keep going. So right there, just in the video in itself, right? That is 11-minute in-depth giving it. Now, this is version 1. So when I did this, there's a lot more updates that's in the current version 2 that you're seeing in the in-depth, right? And the reason I did the in-depth is because I want you guys to be able to see what it looks like. I want you to see how simple it is to also use, instead of just going, oh, I'm going to give you all this verbiage and you don't get to see an insight. So again, I have no problem of showing this is what it looks like. This is what it entails. So I know it's long, but I'm telling you, it's worth just watching it, because you know what you're going to get. So like what it's here and shown right here, for every single 100-meter 60 hurdle race for both men and women, Okay. I can literally put in all their data and I see everything of every single performance race they've ran. And on the right side, I can make notes. So just recently, one of my kids in district is having an issue with his trail leg. Well, on that side, when I entered in, I can make a note. Hey, hurdle 6, hit the hurdle with the trail, ran up on the hurdle. I can make notes. Well, I can then also share that, copy it, put it in a PDF, and I can send it to the kid. And so now the kid's going to see that and stuff. And then in there, this is now comparison of their goal time with their splits, and then also what their current competition performance times have been. So I can literally dissect every single hurdle race that they've ran of this season into comparison what the 100-meter target or 110 hurdle target time is. And I can do that for the 300 hurdles, and I can do that for the 400 hurdles. So that's the hurdle calculator chart, the analysis part as well. And it gives you the spacings, and you can see like, oh, hey, look, your spacing's improved here. We need to improve these spacings. So that is a good thing about the hurdle calculator chart section that you're seeing right now playing and stuff. Coach, if you go ahead and scroll down. So one thing about this, right, is people that purchase it can either email me or send a text, and I will respond. Okay, always. Sometimes it's really quick, other times it's I'm busy doing something and I'll get to it. But the other thing that I've done many of times is if they've had questions, they want to break down things, I've literally have set up Zoom calls with coaches and walk through, hey, this is what you're looking at, what questions you have. Okay, well, what are you thinking training wise that we can do here and stuff. So I've done Zoom calls with coaches that have used the program. You can use it on a Windows or a Mac. Okay, Windows, the program is protected. The reason I protect it, because if we're honest, right, this is how I make a living since I don't have a full-time job. This is my full-time job. It is protected because I know coaches share. So it is protected on both the Windows and Mac. So it can't be shared to other coaches. So it is protected. And that's where it can only be utilized on one computer. But I've given the utilization on multiple computers to coaches that have requested it because of certain circumstances. So I've given the option of like, okay, you want it on a Windows and a Mac. I've had people that have it on both and stuff. And if you purchase the Windows, then, if they DM me and like, hey, can I get it on a Mac? Sure, you can have it on a Mac. And trust me, I don't say it's $450 for the Mac. I'm like, well, you already have the Windows computer version, so I'll give you the Mac for this discounted price and stuff. So, and again, it's a one-time purchase, so you can utilize it how long you want to utilize it. It's yours. There's no subscription. It's the one-time purchase and it's yours. Okay. And then here, this is just some of the reviews that people have gotten. This is not even all of them. And you guys can go through Twitter and stuff that I've posted some of those, so, when I first developed this is where I was shocked, right? Like, so Coach Randy Huntington has been a great mentor to me. He is awesome. He will speak, give everything. And he looked at it with the fine-tooth comb. He's recommended to other people. So just to have an Olympic coach, Randy Huntington, that's, coached, Sue from China in the 100 and has coached, the world record holder in long jump and has been, coaching for a long, long time. It's very humbling to me, to have Chris Parno be one of the founding ones that has looked over it, given me ideas to like, hey, this is great. To same thing with Coach Tolbert there at Harvard, you know, to Ernie Clark, that's at Northern Arizona. I mean, to Duke's coach has it, to, you know, Gabe Sanders at Boston has it. I mean, the list goes on of coaches that I personally know have purchased it and said, "Hey, man, this is amazing what you've done." And to have former colleagues and friends that have believed in it and seen it, it's just wow. I'm just blown by it. Same thing with high school coaches giving me feedback, to club coaches. I mean, it's been every time I get excited, I'm like, hey, dear. I tell my wife, hey, so and so just gave me this. This is so cool. You know, so it's in that sense, you're in good hands and stuff. Like I said, you can be, I'm just starting out with the hurdles and I just need the basics. It'll fit, it'll work. To, hey, I really know the hurdles and I've been doing it a long time and I'm successful. You can still benefit from it because of how you can keep track of all the data, how you can analyze your stuff, how you can give visualization to your kids to help in the buy-in process. It's been nothing but amazing feedback that I've gotten from pro to college to, you know, high school to club coaches. And then right here, this is where when you just purchase, you choose what, if you want it on a Windows or a Mac, you click the buy button, it'll take you to a separate page. I use what's known as Sendow, and that's basically where the program file is stored. So you make your payment through the Sendow. Once it's done, you will get an email that literally gives you step-by-step instructions of what to do, how to start it, how to download it. And then you will get a link to then download the software onto your Windows or PC. So it's pretty simple. You'll get a receipt too that you made the purchase. The one caveat though is when you do purchase it, you have 1 month to purchase. I mean, 1 month to download the program onto your computer. Now, don't worry, because many people like, hey, that month time ran out. It's saying I don't have access to download it. No big deal. Just email me, DM me. I go right back in and I give access another full month and you can download it right away. So if you don't download it within a month, it's okay. You just let me know and I give you access to download it. So we sort of talked about this already, the performance comparisons, the workouts and everything, and stuff. And then the other thing that I think is really, really key here is for anyone that purchases it, I give a free bonus. And this free bonus to me is a game changer in itself. And basically what it is, it's a performance predictor chart. And so if you do a fly 30 or a fly 20, you can put the athlete's name in it and you put in their time that they ran for the fly 20 or the fly 30. And it's going to give you an estimated 100-meter dash time, 200-meter dash, and 400-meter dash time, along with the hurdles as well. So now you can start tracking, you know, so you can even utilize this for your sprinters. You don't have to be just for your hurdlers. So that's been a good thing too, that people have said, man, this is great. This is spot on. Or, oh, hey, you know, you want to run, you know, on the female side, you want to run 23:53 and 52:3 and, you know, 11:73. Well, your 30-meter fly needs to be around 3.26 or better. Right. So now it gives you now a time too to know, like, we got to be at these certain times to hit these from 100, 200 time. And it's pretty accurate too. So yeah.
So this here, I guess this, if they want to get in contact with you on this site, they can submit it here.
Yeah, they can submit it there. So I built my website through Wix. So when you click it, I get a notification through Wix. It tells me, you know, You reached out. You just put your
Okay.
name, email, phone number, whatever message it is, and then I will get it. A lot of times I'll either respond back in the email through that way, or I'll just pick up the phone. I'll just call you.
There you go. Coach, I really appreciate you going through that website and kind of, breaking it down for them a little bit more.
Oh, I appreciate
Guys,
it.
guys, if y'all are interested in the hurdle calculator, like I said, I've been dropping the links in there. Coach, what are your social media handles again?
Yeah, so Twitter, it's at Tier1Athlete for Twitter. For Instagram, it's Tier1Athlete_. And then for Facebook, it's Tier1Athlete Performance, or just you can follow me on my personal, which is Justin Wickard profile for Facebook.
All right, and the hurdle calculator website one
Yeah,
more time.
the website for the hurdle calculator is www.tier1athlete.com.
Okay.
And you'll go down there, and when you get to the main website, it's going to say online programs. Click on that icon, online programs. It's going to take you to another page, and that page then is going to give you some other resources that I have. And the very first one you'll see on the top of that page will be the hurdle calculator program. And you click on it, and it'll take you to that main page that you see.
Good deal. Good deal. Last question for you. I might have one more after this before we get out of here, right? If you had to create a hurdler relay, and that is a thing.
That is a thing, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that is a thing. So this is going to be a animal hurdler relay.
Okay.
So what 4 animals you got on that relay? Who you got on first, Coach? What you going with?
Okay, I'm going with the cheetah.
Okay. A cheetah, they fast, but can they jump though?
Hey, hurdlers are sprinters first, so you go with speed.
Okay, all right.
So, and obviously they can jump.
Yeah.
Right when they go for their prey, they do run and they do jump.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go with a kangaroo on my first leg.
Okay. So you're going with a high jumper. Okay.
Yeah. We gonna jump over 2 hurdles.
Okay. I like it. Airtime might be a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna go with kangaroo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the greyhound.
Okay. All right. You running straight through those hurdles. You ain't jumping over nothing, Coach. All right.
Stride, they can just go.
Okay, you going with the greyhound?
Teach them to the window layout.
Okay. So my kangaroo's gonna hand off to Jackrabbit. I got a Jackrabbit on second.
Okay, that's a good one.
And you still kind of behind, Coach. You ran through every single hurdle.
I was thinking of a rabbit, so so we're on the right track here. Okay, so the anchor. Okay. Anchor.
Well, we're on third now. We're on third.
Oh, you're doing. Oh, well, we're not doing it together. We're not creating. You're doing your own separate, and I'm doing.
Yeah. We'll do it like that. Yeah. Okay. We do it like that.
Okay. Man, what is gonna be?
Because I know I'm winning.
I'm gonna go with the deer.
A deer? Hey, that's not a bad one.
I'll go with the deer. I'll throw in a one that does a little bounding and jumping.
So you gonna go with the deer? What can I go with next? Let's go with a. Man, what's a good animal that could jump? Oh man. Let's go with a regular size grasshopper.
Okay.
Mike.
Okay.
The reason I man. Mike let me tell you something about what I'm talking about, right? Mike Cunningham. Oh, we gonna race too, guys. If y'all can get to TTFCA Winter Clinic next year, Me and Mike Cunningham, we're gonna run the 60-meter dash. I'm gonna whoop them. I'm gonna burn them. Make sure y'all get there.
Then
But anyway,
afterwards, you guys are gonna go play some poker, and then he's gonna take over and lay down the chips. So if you guys are gonna race,
Yeah.
who's gonna be the MC?
He's the MC. He's
No,
gonna
no,
take a
because
break.
he's racing. He can't be the MC.
He's gonna take a break. He's gonna come outside and get smoked real quick. Then he's going back in there.
So I will say MC for that event. I'm gonna say it needs to be Mike Ford.
Hey, that'll be. And we might have it at the Baylor track. Is what might happen. Well, we'll see if we can get that worked out. But guys, if y'all want to see me get out there and
pull a hamstring,
and pull, I'm just about to say pull something. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, we on anchor leg. What you got?
I haven't said this. I don't think you've said that. We haven't said gazelle, right?
No, we haven't.
Okay,
That's a good
a
one.
gazelle.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Let me Google one real quick.
That's cheating.
Let's see. Well, you're up right now. Well, no, but all your athletes hurt. They've been running through hurdles the whole time. So, gazelle is good. Man, let's go with a. Just go with a tiger on the last one.
Okay.
I'll go with a tiger on there. He got a little power or whatever. But
yeah.
Guys, drop in the comments and let us know who won this hurdler relay.
You did. You did.
But hey, Coach, any final thoughts or any shout outs to anybody before we get out of here?
Well, I just shout out to all the kids that are, that are competing, finishing up districts. But my shout out honestly goes to the kids that didn't make it to area. I know everyone gets celebrated with making it to area, but I want to focus on the kids that didn't make it. Don't get discouraged. Okay, look at the positive things that you did throughout this year. Look how you've grown, okay, throughout the year. Not only performance-wise, but also training-wise, how you've handled things to how you ended it, okay? Secondly, just because you didn't make it does not mean your self-worth is devalued. Your parents still love you. Your coaches still are there for you. They still support you. They still care about you. It doesn't change your character, doesn't change your value, doesn't change your friends. They're still going to be your friends. So just know that your year ended, but your life is just beginning. Okay. It's another thing of learning how to overcome the objective. It's an opportunity to grow as an individual. But then the other thing is use that fuel to become even more dedicated in your craft. Be honest with yourself of areas that you can even do better. Maybe you left some things short in practices. Maybe you didn't listen as well. Maybe you just weren't fully invested. Take that opportunity to reflect and be like, you know what? I'm going to go do even better next year, right? And trust the process, trust your coaches, have good supporting casts around you. But at the end of the day, just remember, it's just a sport. It doesn't define you, okay? It doesn't guarantee you that your life's going to be a certain way. Enjoy the sport because it's a great sport. Enjoy the opportunity to be the best you can possibly be. There's going to be places that people are better than you naturally. That's okay. But it's how you carry yourself, how you encourage your teammates, how you walk amongst your friends when you have been defeated.
Yeah.
Right. And so continue to cheer on your teammates that are going forward, continue to be there for them, and continue to be a positive, and know that even though you might not have made it, you've influenced someone's life without you knowing it. So that could be someone that's younger than you, that might be someone older than you, just because of how you work day in and day out. You do work hard, or how you come to practice bubbly and carry excitement, or the how you challenge coach, and sometimes coach gets upset, but not at you personally, but just of how you maybe do things and how you're bubbly. Like, it's okay. So that's my shout out, is those kids that didn't make it, because your value is just as important. You make up the team. Without you guys, there's no overall team. There's more people that don't make it to state and area than they are that make it.
Yeah.
So you are part of the team.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Shout out to those athletes too. I mean, it happens. It happens. If you're not satisfied with your performance, or whatever happened, make sure you work on that this summer. Start working on it this summer. Make sure you're doing the right things. But I always say too, losing that builds character. You know, uh, everybody everybody gonna lose one point in time.
Yep.
That's just the way it is, especially in track. That's just how it goes. But keep on trucking, don't give up. Use it for motivation is what I say. Use it for motivation. So when you come back next year, you already know what's about to happen. You're not taking losing. You're not taking losing that go around, right? So you go be a winner. You're still a winner. So don't give up. Stay positive. Um, Eat right, just do the right things, cheer on your teammates that did make it, be a motivational factor for them as well. But yeah, coach, hey, I appreciate that. Good job. Shouting out to them, because somebody need to hear that, you
Yep.
know. Somebody
Well,
need to hear it,
love.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just as important.
yeah. Somebody need to hear it. So we gonna get out of here. And one last question, coach. Are you faster than Texas Track Dad?
No. Or maybe I'm just giving it to you.
I see you on them hurdles though, coach. No, you kind of fast. You're not gonna fool me. You're not gonna fool me, coach.
Hey,
You're not gonna fool me.
being 42 now, oh, I feel it. I feel it.
I see you jumping them hurdles, coach,
I
over
feel
there.
I feel it.
You
Eventually
pretty
it
fast.
stops. Then I get done, I'm like, man, my Achilles are hurting. So yeah.
All right. Hey, it's been fun. It's been a great show, guys. Contact Coach Wickard if y'all interested in that calculator. He also do mentorship. You can contact him about that. He'll give you the information on it. Also, make sure you go follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, every social media site you can think of. If I'm not on there, make sure you let me know so I can get on there. But also this show, I will have the audio version. Give me about a few days. I'll put that out so y'all can listen to it at work or wherever you are. If you're outside, if you're at a track meet, you can turn it on wherever you at. You better listen to it as well. But we're going to get out of here. I want to say thank you for everyone. Coach Wickard, you already know it's always a great show.
Well, I enjoy it. So I
Yeah.
thank you for, like I said, all the work that you do for uplifting the sport and the kids, and keep doing what you're meant to do.
I will do, and I appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
hey, guys, Egypt Dad, hey, I got that IcyBreeze for you. Make sure you hit that link and get it. We're out.